Good evening. Today for you I have two treats. One that is probably going to be disgusting, but we'll see. It is clam chowder potato chips. Yes. Sounds lovely, doesn't it? It's nothing I like but soupy chips. And I also have for you new Fanta, because in the tradition of Japanese companies making seasonal things, there's a new one. This time, instead of the World Traveling series, they have the, I guess, Japan series. So, this one, I know you probably can't read it, but it's, yeah, Japanese fruits. And the first one, you can see the picture there, is, yeah, grapes. So, probably going to be boring. We shall see. When you combine things, you never know what can happen. Just like Dragon Ball. Okay, so first, Mr. Fanta, you are up. Boring. Okay, so today, while I eat these probably not very tasty chips, I felt like I was going to talk to you and you, which is a bad joke for saying W. It might sound like there would be no conversation, seeing as how it's a letter. What is it to talk about? But surprisingly, in Japan, there is something to talk about with the letter W. Okay. So, in Japanese, there are a lot of words that, of course, there was a Japanese word, and yet there is an English word that has taken over, essentially, the word. So, things like pink. A lot of people in Japan say pink. You know, Japanese pronunciation, of course, but they don't use another word. They usually just say the word pink. And another one of these, which you don't hear all the time, it's kind of mixed, where you'll hear the English, and then you sometimes hear the Japanese. Where the English, it is double. So, you might probably be making a connection by now. You have double, which a lot of times, you know, you can say this a lot of different ways, even in Japanese. So, let's say you come to Japan on vacation. You're hungry, you don't want to eat at McDonald's, but you want to eat somewhere that might be, I don't know, not that different if you're not feeling adventurous. So let's say you go into Moss Burger. When you do that, you're going to see a W next to some things. And you're going to have no idea why at first. So, example, I'll stop being vague. You have a hamburger or a cheeseburger with two patties. And then it has the letter W in the name. Not part of a word, just the letter W. And the reason they have these, this is not only like cheeseburgers, but also a lot of times like coffees, anything that has two. They'll use the letter W. And the reason is because for some reason they think you pronounce the letter W as double, which is how they say double. So now you have two ways to say two very different things. And of course, seeing as how they're basically the same pronunciation, in fact, I don't think there is a difference, they use one in place of the other. And so you end up with, now this is mostly in stores, or advertisements, or on products that you might buy. You know, you're never going to say this. You'll find these things, and it's pretty prevalent throughout Japan. You have like, what are some things it's on? Consomme chips, like double consomme. So you have like consomme, and then you have a big W. Or double-sized coffee. It'll be the letter W, and then coffee. Now, what I don't understand is why this has continued for longer than, I don't know, a month, if that. That's being nice, because you have something that doesn't sound at all like what it's supposed to sound like. And not only has it caught on, but it's permeated the language to a very deep level where people don't even think about it. And yet, when people are speaking English or learning English, they're never taught, or at least in the Eikaiwa school system and the extracurricular type of English schools, usually teach it properly. I can't speak for every single Japanese school in the school system, but outside of the school system itself, it's usually taught properly, and yet this persists for some reason. I really can't tell you why. But now I have protected you and your very soft, mushy head from a potential disaster. Because as safe as you might think you are, when you come across something like this, it's very possible, and depending on the area or where you come from, quite likely that it will pop. And that's not good, or maybe that's not good.